What more can you tell us more about how Antonio Brown was finally released from the Raiders?
Well, listen, we saw the pattern of it. You know, he's very active on social media anyways, but I know that he consulted with various advisors. You can call them some social media consultants, but as everything was unfurling with the Raiders, you saw a number of tweets or Facebook or Instagram messages from Antonio Brown, as he did, in fact, ask some of them, what's a good strategy to get myself out of here as quickly as possible? And if you go back to last Wednesday, when he posted that letter from Mike Mayock, it might have been the day before that, he was being fined, and it was the first time he saw the phrase conduct detrimental. That's what created the confrontation with Mayock the next day, which he created his own absence and then the emotional apology. But then back when he got another letter that he was basically losing his guaranteed money, that's when he went berserk and he posted that video with the Gruden conversation. I don't think John Gruden was that upset about that one, but the next day it was release me. And at that point, I think Mark Davis, the owner, and Mike Mayock, the GM, and even John Gruden eventually said, okay, this is enough. This circus has to end.
I love that wiretapping wasn't enough. Like, that wasn't the final straw. It was him asking for a release.
I do believe, Al, that John Gruden actually found that amusing. So the wiretapping part did not bother John Gruden. It probably bothered everybody else. But I think there just was a series of things that happened. And I think that, you know, the Raiders did not pay Antonio Brown one penny since that trade took place with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Stick by, Mort, because again, Greeny, it's just an unbelievable story that continues to just have new levels and layers.
You know, we've been on the air for 18 months, and I think my new favorite phrase ever is, the wiretapping didn't bother John Gruden. We've now gotten to a place where that's I'm just going to say this quite simply, okay? Rex Ryan, you were a coach for a long time. You coached a lot of big personalities. Would you want, right now, Antonio Brown on your football team?
After this, and it sounds crazy that I'm going to say this, Greeny, but no. As much as I love talent, there's no way. I mean, look, I know he'd have no respect for me, never respected Mike Tomlin, never respected Gruden, or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not respect, but he doesn't care about you. Let's just put it that way. He only cares about himself. Now, we're going to find out. Do I actually think it's going to work in New England? Like, this sounds crazy. But he's going to last the season there, I can promise you. Why? Because New England wants to get that third-round pick when somebody else makes the mistake of signing this guy to a long-term deal.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he lasted the season. I'll go back to two things. Trust. One of the foundations of New England's philosophy and their success is trust. The same guy that quit on his football team in Week 17 last year and betrayed everybody in Oakland, used everyone in Oakland. Do we think he's automatically going to just become a different person to his core in a week? And also the fact of you have to be willing to go to New England and do it their way. We've seen it time and time again. And the great thing about New England is, whether it's a draft pick or a free agent signing, if you don't, they have no emotional concern about cutting ties with you. That's the difference between New England and everyone else is they're willing to admit mistakes. And if he doesn't go in there and, again, I'll use the word, conform to the way that they want to do their everyday business, they will not feel bad about, this is not going to work out. You're not what's right for our football team and the best for our 53, and we no longer need you. I would be surprised if he lasted the season.
The word really isn't trust, though, Dan, and I agree with everything you're saying, but the word they use all the time there is selfless.
Okay.
That's what he's not.
Sure.
But he's got to be this. What I'm saying is, look, I know there's going to be some of these type of things. You know, it's not going to be a smooth sailing the entire way. But the Patriots are so smart. They're going to keep him. They're going to get that third-round pick. Like, that's why I think he's going to last, not because he's going to.
They won't keep him if he distrusts their opportunity to get that trophy, though.
Listen,
they will not keep him for that.
Of course,
after what we just saw, let's just say it, what we just witnessed, if indeed it is what it now appears to be, I thought we were watching a person who was just falling apart, to be completely honest with you. But listening to Chris Mortensen and others yesterday and out here this morning, when it seems this was all an orchestrated attempt to get himself out of a situation, what we have just witnessed is the most unprofessional act that I can ever remember seeing in professional sports, and I've been covering this stuff for 30 years. And there is no obvious reason at this point to believe Antonio Brown gives a damn about anyone but himself. Now, that may very well work out fine in New England, and the good news for them is they lose nothing if it doesn't. They looked awfully good without him last night. What he can't do is bring them down. Their culture is much too strong
Absolutely.
to
I
be
agree
brought
with
down
that.
by anything in their clubhouse. But there is no reason at all to believe Antonio Brown cares about anything at this point besides himself.
And that's the greatest concern, because to everybody's point, everyone who follows football knows the New England Patriots do it their way, and it's different. And it's totally contrary to what we've seen from AB over the last 18 months. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.